It's a little childhood trick that you probably remember. On a piece of paper, if you wrote something with lime juice, it would be invisible. And then if you held a candle to that paper, you could read what was written. Remember that? It was a trick that fascinated kids across the world. It also fascinated a man called McArthur Wheeler, and his story has a message for all of us. Hello and welcome to another edition of Chai with Pai, our weekly series of videos where I share simple lessons and stories to help each of us become just a little bit better. McArthur Wheeler was fascinated by the idea that lime juice could make something invisible. He had a plan. He decided to put this knowledge of what lime juice could do to good effect. He said, "I'd rob a bank." So what he did was, he took some lime juice and smashed his face with lots of it, covered his face with all the lime juice he could get, and was confident that he would now be invisible. Armed with a gun in one hand and, of course, lime juice on the face, he set out one morning in 1995 in Pittsburgh and robbed not just one, but two banks. And of course, he knew, even when he saw a CCTV camera, he looked at it and smiled and almost made faces at it because he knew that with that lime juice, the camera wouldn't be able to tell who he was. And of course, later when the cops looked at the CCTV camera footage, they could very clearly see the face of a man who had robbed the bank. They put his picture out on television that evening to ask if anybody knew him. And of course, very quickly, McArthur Wheeler was caught. And when the police met him, he was completely surprised and he was wondering, but how could you catch me? I had lime juice on my face. There's a bit of McArthur Wheeler in all of us. Ignorance can often breed overconfidence. He thought that the lime juice would work for him and would do wonders, which clearly it wouldn't do. When you don't know, the tendency is to not know how little you know. Okay? And I think this is a mistake that can afflict a lot of us. If you think about it, you'll probably find there's a McArthur Wheeler somewhere in your office. There is certainly a lot of those McArthur Wheelers on social media, people who don't know enough but pretend like they know a hell of a lot. Two psychologists, Dunning and Kruger, call it what's now known as the Dunning-Kruger effect, the tendency to overestimate your competence when you're actually fairly ignorant. Okay? I think it's a fairly dangerous place to be and something that we all want to watch out for. Next time you find somebody supremely confident about their verdict and about what they're saying, hang on, maybe it's the Dunning-Kruger effect at play. Maybe it's their ignorance which is causing them to act so confident. Think of McArthur Wheeler and remember this, for most of us, a good idea or a good way to avoid the Dunning-Kruger effect is to learn to say, I don't know. Just being able to say, I don't know, is a good way to ensure that you are not overestimating your own intelligence or your competence. That's all in this week's edition of Chai with Pai. And remember, lime can work well in the chai, but not on your face.